Top Talkers today, and I welcome my panel. It is Steve Lloyd from In the Box on the Team 1200. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Candice Drover for Mid Mornings on Majic 100, plus our music director as well. So good morning.
Good morning.
And Codi Jeffries from the Codi and Steve show, I'll call it from now on. I'm Bob FM in the afternoons. 2 to 6?
$20 works.
$20, yeah. 2 to 6, right?
Yes.
Got it all correct. It's all up here. So let's talk about Hurricane Sandy, what was, and social media's impact on that, plus the wide-ranging coverage as well. We saw on Twitter a lot of people tweeting from the scene, and this is interesting information, getting on-the-ground info as it happens, and Twitter has always been one of these fast mediums. But some misinformation in there too. How much do you believe, Steve, when you read online?
I find Twitter is a great jumping off point. Like I use it a lot for sports knowledge as well. I follow people and athletes and what have you, but never take it for absolute verbatim unless you know it's a really reliable source. It's coming from somebody who works for some sort of an agency or what have you. If it's just somebody out there like general people just tweeting out pictures and information, it's interesting, but I wouldn't, take it verbatim until you can source it out. Like, for example, I don't know if you saw it, some guy was tweeting a picture of a shark, going down the street. It's like, it was a fun picture, but...
Yeah, that shark picture in the water in New Jersey was a fake one. There were quite a few fake ones, actually. I think we've got some lined up. Let's have a look at them, and we'll just show you. That is a picture from The Day After Tomorrow. The movie, right? And so someone tweeted that, look at the skyline over New York, oh my goodness. The next one, that is just a stock picture of the George Washington Bridge, so not a storm picture, and someone saying Hurricane Sandy. This clearly from The Day After Tomorrow as well. So drastic. And my personal favorite, I had them sneak one in, which I thought was great. It's everybody. There's a shark, Godzilla, Stay Puffed is in there. See?
Perfect for
There's
Halloween.
right down there.
Yeah, that's nice. And the UFO, don't miss that. Well, okay, so that's obviously a little fun we have with that. But you do have to be careful, and when do you keep that in mind, Candice, as you're combing through your social media network?
You have to. You have to look at the things and sort of, like Steve said, you have to take it with a grain of salt unless it comes from a reliable source. It's so easy to Photoshop things nowadays, and yesterday I was just going through my Facebook, and whenever I noticed someone had a picture that was obviously fake, I just kind of sent them a message and say, hey, you know this is a fake picture, right?
So you get that embarrassed for them feeling sometimes. Codi, how do you discern what's a reliable source? Does it come from a media outlet and that helps, or?
Sometimes if I see a picture, I will Google it.
Okay.
Go online to see if anyone else has it, like somewhere in a news service or something, just to be sure. I mean, Hurricane Sandy even had its own Facebook page yesterday, and all kinds of great pictures are coming out. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had there. There's no question about it. Perhaps when a lot of people talking about actually getting ramped up in terms of some people even saying it could be fear-mongering when it comes to a storm like this. Do you find the coverage too much, or is it just right, too little?
I think it's a little sensational.
Okay.
Especially watching the American networks, I find it that way. Like, how many times can they call it Superstorm Sandy within the span of 15 seconds? And all the adjectives that are being used.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, so it's a little over the top. But you know what? Especially in the U.S., the news media is entertainment these days.
And they're 24 hours.
And they're 24 hours. So I understand why it's that way, but just to get it back to how you take Twitter with a grain of salt, you have to realize when you're watching that as well, it's like, it's great information, but some of the adjectives being used a little much. Yeah,
some people saying that the drama gets ramped up, Candice, but I mean, after Katrina, there's nothing more dramatic than that. Do you think it's necessary?
I think people are just really concerned. I think there are people who do sort of go out of their way to blow it up and make it seem like, it really is bigger than it is. Maybe they find some sort of humor in that. I don't know, but you really just have to stay tuned and just kind of go with your gut feelings and watch it and just pray for the people that you know over there. And
right. And do you think? I think it probably has an effect. How much of an effect do you think it has? Us being a country that is overwhelmed by American coverage, and there's no question the United States is underwater, and parts of the eastern parts of the United States are underwater. How much do you think it has an effect on us being on the border and getting so much coverage, Codi?
I think we care a lot about our neighbors, like in the U.S., and I know I have a friend, Joe, who I was checking out his Facebook page, and he was showing pictures. He's living it right now, and saying the power's out, and there's places flooded. Battery Park raised 13 feet of water, which is, I guess, a record from 10 feet of water with the Hurricane Dawn a few
that's
years
right.
ago.
Yeah, 13.88 feet in New York City. Parts of Battery Park underwater. I mean, these are actual dramatic pictures. You don't even need to fancy them up.
Yeah.
I guess is the takeaway here to, just like you've always done with coverage of anything, whether it be from social media or even just traditional media, grain of salt, read between the lines?
I would say so. You know, the information is great, and when you're watching, you know, reputable news channel, news network, or what have you, you're getting the real information. You're seeing the pictures for yourselves. Now, the way they're staging the pictures sometimes, intentionally getting the reporter to stand in the deepest part of the street, you know, and make sure that there's all kinds of personnel circling and like, look what's happening. But it's happening, and as Cody said, power's out. People are suffering right now.
How do you guys feel about this kind of thing, putting reporters in these situations? Does this add to it? Does this give you a better view? Or is it unnecessary? I know there are views on both sides.
How far do you go, though, to get your story, really? You
Right.
put yourself right in the middle of it? Or?
This is the entertainment part of it.
You think?
I mean, no, seriously, it is.
Wow.
And sometimes it gets rather stupid, as you
Yeah.
can see.
Wow.
So,
Would you do it? You're the weather guy. Would you go out there and do that, Mr. Weather?
I think there's a defense on that side in that it gives people a real-time view of what's happening out there. In terms of putting myself in the way of danger, I think that that's irresponsible.
you got to know where the line is.
That's right.
That's why I say I totally understand why, because it's nice to see. There's a guy last night on CNN, and he's in Atlantic City, and he's hip deep in water. That's pretty dramatic. It's a main drag in Atlantic City. So
and it lets you know that it's not this much
exactly.
water.
And you see the truck go by, and it's up over the hood almost. So you understand that. Now, he wasn't in too much danger, but you know, some of those pictures that we just saw there.
Yes.
That's where you might want to draw the line.
Yeah, gotcha. Top Talkers, thank you so much to my panel again. The takeaway, I think, is always try and use critical thinking on it. You know, read between the lines and take it with a grain of salt.